We have here data for 7,320 emergency room visits. Visit just indicates whether it was the first visit, second, and so on, down to 7,320. Shift indicates whether the visit occurred in the first shift, that is, the first 8 hours of the day, second shift, or the third shift. And emergency status indicates whether the visit was for an emergency or for something that was not an emergency, for example, primary care. Now, we're going to use this set of data to talk about probabilities in contingency tables. So to begin that discussion, we're going to go to Data, Pivot Table and Chart Report, and we're going to create a pivot table using this range that will allow us to look at probabilities in contingency tables. I'm going to go to Next here, and I'm going to choose Layout, and we're going to put the shift in the columns, and whether or not the visit was for an emergency in the rows, and count of shift in the data area. Now I'll say OK, and the result is going to go on a new worksheet, so I'll leave this just as it is and finish. And now we have a new worksheet which gives the data we're going to work with. Now, because I'm going to be doing some arithmetical operations with this set of data, or with this contingency table, I'm going to turn it into simply a set of numbers by copying it and pasting special values. That gets rid of the live nature of the contingency table and allows me to do mathematical operations with the contingency table. The first thing I'm going to do is copy the whole table and paste it here. And now in each of these cells I'm going to get what is called the joint probability of coming at a particular shift and coming for either an emergency or other. And this particular probability is called the joint probability and. The joint probability and is very easily calculated. It is just equal the number of people who came for emergencies in the first shift divided by the total number of people who came to the emergency room, and we'll fix the divisor with an F4, and we can drag this to each of the cells. These are what are called the joint probabilities and. For example, the probability of coming for an emergency and coming in the first shift is 0.20, or about 20%. The probability of coming for an emergency and coming in the second shift is about 25%. The probability of coming in the third shift and coming for something other than an emergency is only about 6%, and this is probably because the third shift would be the 8 hours from perhaps midnight to 8 in the morning. The joint probability and always adds to 1. So if I put here equal sum of these values, I will get the value 1.